Hello, my name is George, and I'm talking this morning about Costco Travel and the problems we had with the customer service. Well, we had booked a back-to-back cruise, two cruises in a row through Costco Travel, starting in Singapore, and the first one ended in Japan. The second one started in Japan, and then would end up in Seattle, Washington, in the United States. Somewhere along the line, Royal Caribbean changed the itinerary of these cruises so that we would start a day early on the second one, and it would shorten the first one by a full day. Costco had sent me an email saying that we had three options. We could cancel and get a refund. We could take the money from that cruise and apply it to another cruise, or we could rebook the cruise and Royal Caribbean would give us a small amount of onboard credit, $200, I believe. So we liked the itinerary. The one day wasn't a big deal, and we thought, well, we'll just rebook. So I called Costco as soon as a day or so after I got the email and said, we would like to rebook the cruise. The first one was actually the second cruise, and that went away with, they did exactly what they said they were going to do. It got rebooked. I got a confirmation. It was no problem. A few days later, I got another email about the first leg of the cruise, and it had the same options, basically. So I called Costco again, and unfortunately, it was the start of the coronavirus stuff, and it took forever to get a hold of a Costco agent. I was on hold for a little over an hour until I could talk to someone. And they checked with Royal Caribbean and said, that Royal Caribbean hadn't repriced the cruise yet, so therefore they couldn't rebook it. And I said, fine, what should I do? And the nice young lady said, well, call back on Monday and everything should be fine and we can take care of it. So I went through this process again on Monday. It took forever for them to answer, on hold for almost an hour, I think 51 minutes. And when they came on, they said, we'll check with Royal Caribbean. And she came back and said, well, they haven't repriced it yet, so you're going to have to wait. And I said, well, that's what they told me before to call back on Monday. I think I actually waited till Tuesday to call back, figuring I'd give them an extra day. And she said, well, I don't know what to tell you. Call back on Friday. And I'm thinking, this has become very poor customer service. Why wouldn't they check with Royal, first of all, before they sent the email out? If they're not prepared to handle what Royal is giving as options, why would they notify their customers to call them, call Costco? So that happened. And what I was doing then was I was checking on the Royal Caribbean website to see if they had made changes in the itinerary, assuming that once the itinerary was changed, that they would be able to handle the rebooking. Well, again, I finally saw that on Royal Caribbean, so I waited another day and I called back to Costco Travel. And eventually we got it handled. But I just thought Costco did a very poor job of taking care of their customers. Nobody said, well, we'll check with Royal and call you back when you can do your options. And, the onus was on me to always call back, set on hold forever, or do one of these callback things, which is fine. You don't have to have the phone on all the time, but you still have to wait for the callback. So, it really doesn't free you up to do anything else. And it just seemed like it was a very poor way of handling a minor problem. The rebooking has finally been done, so I guess I can't complain about that. But I just think that they didn't handle customer service very well at all.
Any particular reason you decided to go with Costco when you decided to purchase your cruise?
I guess the only thing was we used to have a travel agent that we used a lot, and his business has changed, so I had to find a new one. And Costco, although the pricing on the cruise was the same pretty much with everyone, Costco did offer a Costco, what do you call it, a Costco card, I guess, that could be used later on after the cruise is completed, which made them a little more attractive price wise.
What would you say, George, was that point that made you go online and write a review about Costco travel? What was that upsetting thing that kind of said inside of you, like, hey, I need to share this story with people?
I think Costco, what made me angry, I guess, or upset about the whole deal was that they didn't take the initiative to do customer service. In other words, it was always up to me to call them back and ask for the same thing over and over again, and then hopefully that it was available. Where I would think good customer service would say, okay, let's see what we can do for our customers, and then we'll contact them. Nobody asked me, well, what option do you want to take, and we'll try to get that with Royal, and once we do, we'll send you a confirmation. They always said, well, call back. First of all, it was call back Monday, then call back Friday, then nobody checked with Royal Caribbean to see if they could even offer the options before they sent this email out. And that just seemed to me like it was poor planning on their part as far as like the services that they were providing.
Understood, understood. Now, there are a lot of people that are going to be watching your interview and listening to you talk. If I were to ask you to give these folks a message regarding your dealings with Costco Travel and regarding the whole situation that you wrote a review about, what would you like to say to them, to your audience?
Well, hopefully they don't have the problems that we had, and they won't have to deal with this. But just be aware that you're kind of on your own. That Costco Travel is not going to take the initiative to find a solution for you. That you have to find your own, and then you have to deal with the long waits and the lack of attention. I would say, and you have to question whether it's worth saving the few dollars that you can with Costco, to have such poor customer service. So it's an issue. It's something that people should consider.
True. Thank you very much, George. Now let's imagine we are in a perfect world and Costco understands the things that they did wrong. They understand their shortcomings in this whole situation and come back to you and say, George, we would like to do something for you to make you feel better about this whole situation. Is there anything at all that Costco Travel can do for you now?
I don't think I'm not looking for anything, either monetary or whatever. I guess what I would like them to do is consider a situation like this in the future and just plan better. To actually take care of their customers instead of their customers having to do the work for them. That just makes sense to me. First of all, not send the email out unless they know that the company that initiated it can take care of the problem. And secondly, when they couldn't get a hold of the company and they couldn't do what they were supposed to do, instead of saying to me, you've got to call us back, they should have said, okay, give me your information, I'll handle it, and then I'll call you back once we have a confirmation. That just would have made sense. So I'm hoping that they would correct this, correct their work in the future so this doesn't happen again. But as far as anything they can do for me, I guess it really doesn't matter. Things were handled. We're set for our cruise. Hopefully the travel bans and everything will be gone and we can take it. And if not, we'll work at it then. But it makes me somewhat reluctant to do this through Costco again. I just didn't feel comfortable through the whole thing once the changes were made.